On this weekend's explosive episode of 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Kimberly and Usman had their ups and downs. And we don't just mean the, ahem, birthday yammy. He was unsure if she could behave herself, then they were very happy, and then they had a new, old, conflict. In the middle of it all, Kimberly's insecurities flared up when she found herself face to face with Usman's young, pretty friend. In the aftermath of Usman, Sojaboy, Umar and Kimberly Menzies' milkshake-throwing fight, things felt tense. Usman had just barely talked her out of leaving. They both felt that the other had misled them about the wife number 2 situation. Tonight would be more than just a birthday party. It would also be a test, to see if Kimberly could behave. If not, Usman could never introduce her to his family in Sokoto. Kimberly promised to be the life of the party. However, she is still adapting to Usman's culture. Every time that she thinks that she has a grip on things, he has a surprise for her. She must have known, on some level, that her behavior at the party would dictate whether Usman could let her meet his mom. Kimberly also got to speak with Usman's friend, the one who witnessed her milkshake Usman and storm off. She apologized, admitted that she has been experiencing a lot of anxiety while learning Usman's culture. He seemed to accept it. That's pretty impressive, considering how fiery their very recent confrontation was. Time for a twist. Usman had not told Kimberly that one of his friends was a woman. She learned that when Ali arrived. Ali is young and beautiful. Kimberly admitted to the camera that she is secure in herself, but she knows that Ali represents things that she herself is not. Instead of pitching a tantrum, however, Kimberly switched seats to get to know Ali and made friends with her. She asked Ali to keep an eye on Usman, citing that she worries about him. Was it a transparently manipulative move? Absolutely. But it was refreshing to see this side of Kimberly instead of past reactions. Ali came away with a positive impression of Kimberly, whom she described as very nice. That said, she did acknowledge that someone seeing her with Usman on the street would think that something is fishy. Honestly, given the age gap, that might be nearly as true in the United States as it is in Nigeria. Click on the bell icon to stay up to date on my new videos. We also see Usman and Kimberly go shopping for clothing. This is not just any shopping trip. Kimberly needs traditional Hausa clothing to meet Usman's traditional Hausa mother. A blouse and jeans will not leave a good impression on his mother. And without her approval, Usman will not marry Kimberly. Ultimately, Kimberly ended up purchasing some clothing but not a full ensemble, compromising. Meanwhile, they were both in good spirits, with Kimberly admitting to feeling a little hungover from partying but not unwell. She also felt a little worn out from the previous night's birthday yammy, which allegedly nearly sent the headboard through the wall. Still, Usman and Kimberly had a lot to discuss. Wife number 2 is unfamiliar territory, especially for her. She wrote a list of questions, by hand, on physical paper, no less, to ask Usman. Some of the questions were very helpful. For example, he helped her understand how some of her responses had made him feel. Just as she would not like it if he did not like or want to know Jamal, he bristled at her lack of desire to meet his future children. However, when he suggested that wife number 2 might be another American, if she is Hausa and of childbearing age, things went south. And it wasn't Kimberly who flipped out. She just reminded him that this was not what he had told her, and would in fact be a deal-breaker. It was Usman's turn to escalate what began as a simple but serious conversation. He suggested that Kimberly was not making any sacrifices to be with him, not in comparison to his own. Why? Because Usman claimed that women from all over the world craved his yammy, but he turned them all down. All save Kimberly, anyway. That is the basic premise of a committed, closed relationship. By the way, why does he feel that he deserves a cookie for that? This really got to Kimberly. She was able to see how he feels about her value in relation to his. Does this relationship have any hope of working out? Right now, it looks like she is the one with doubts, not Usman. The promo for next week's episode involves Usman tentatively discussing Kimberly with his mom. So, maybe it's still on.